The Saints remain at number 1 after thrashing the Bengals so badly that they have a new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, if there was any question last week, like, okay, look, you're overreacting to Saints being the Rams. I don't think anybody's saying overreacting this week. The only thing that this game was missing was Des Bryant in a Saints uniform. I was bummed about that, but this team is complete, Dan, and the defense has been playing a lot better.
This Saints team is, man, they are making it look too easy.
Yep.
And when I say too easy, like everybody touches the ball, everybody scores touchdowns. You don't even know where to start to stop the Saints. Absolutely number 1.
This Saints team looks better than the Super Bowl Saints team almost on every level. The Chiefs up 1 spot to number 2 after they took care of business against the Cardinals.
Yeah, Dan, what I liked about this game is it wasn't easy. The Cardinals actually gave them a good punch. The key play, though, was Justin Houston stabbing the ball out of the air on a screen pass. And it was great, James, to see the Chiefs' defense contribute to a big win because Arizona played them tough.
Absolutely, and I love Houston coming back, man. This is going to help that defense. You know, they're going to play from, ahead, and they're going to have opportunities to pin their ears back and go get the quarterback, and they got 2 very good pass rushers in Houston, and that's definitely going to help this Chiefs defense out, and we know what their offense is going to do.
Kansas City playing the Rams this week. We'll break that down coming up in just a bit. Here is a complete look at 1 through 10. You see 1 and 2 right there, and then the Texans rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, and Dan, I tried not to overreact to Carolina. I know it was a bad loss, but it was on a short week. The Panthers have been consistent all year.
All right, Elliot, let me ask you about the Patriots. Coming off their 3rd loss of the season, why are they still in the top 5?
Well, I see you. I see you over there.
He can't wait.
Okay, look, if the Patriots play like they did against Tennessee this coming week, then even if they win, I would gladly move them down and move Pittsburgh ahead. But here's the thing. Every team has an anomaly game, James. And we've seen when New England's had an anomaly game, like late in the year, they've often lost in Miami. They always rebound from that game, come back, and play well. Tennessee had a lot of motivation in this game. I'll be willing to move Pittsburgh up, though, if New England isn't impressive in their next win.
Listen, year after year after year, New England is in there. So you got to understand, they are getting every team's best shot every time they take up the field. You're going to have games like this, man, where you just get beat up. I've been in games like that. You just get beat up. But they deserve to be number 5 still, unless they lay an egg next week.
The Patriots have lost to the Jags, the Titans, and the Lions. The combined record of those 3 teams, 11-16. Just saying. All right, moving on now. 11 through 20. You have the Packers and Ravens at 11-12, and then the Broncos rounding out your top 20.
Yeah, and I want to circle right there. Look at Seattle. I moved Seattle up even though they lost. And this is the time of year. If you play impressive against a good team in a loss, I'm going to move you up. And if you play bad in a win, I'll move you down.
All right, 21 through 30. It's all Ohio at 21 and 22. Jags there at 25, and the Niners rounding out your top 30.
I just want you to know that with their record, Miami's still playoff viable.
Thank you for that, Elliot.
Still in it.
Jags down 1 spot to 25. They have lost 5 straight, sitting at 3-6. Are they done, JJ?
Oh, man, why you do this to me? No, they're not done. They're going to find a way to beat Pittsburgh, and I think they're going to get their mojo back, get their confidence back. I think the locker room right now, I don't know. They don't remember what winning feels like, but they're going to find a way to get a win, and everybody's going to get confidence back in Duval, and I think they can make a run still.
They're going to need to win 3 straight, the third of which will be the Colts at home. I think the Jags have a chance, but I'm leaning towards done. Look, their formula is running the ball and playing defense, and they couldn't do that this week. Blake Bortles actually was the one that kept them in the game against the Colts.
All right, Elliot, this shouldn't be difficult for you. You go on these a lot. Can you take us on a power trip?
Yeah, but we're doing a dual trip. How about an NFC North trajectory? Start at the beginning of the year with our Sunday night combatants. Minnesota Vikings started up in the cleanup spot. I thought they were a Super Bowl contender. The Bears, I was at 15. Okay, you see how the little trajectory went for both teams? Pretty even, staying even there. But at number 9, because they lost to the Bills, the Vikings looked terrible at home in that game. The Bears I dropped that week too because they beat the Cardinals, but they were barely able to do it. But then Minnesota started asserting itself until they played the Saints. Week 9, New Orleans went in there, got a couple key turnovers. Vikings fell to 8. Meanwhile, the Bears won a knuckleball of a game against the Jets, and James hollered, they haven't played anybody. So I kept them at 10. They beat the Lions. I moved them up to 9. Vikings on a bye.
Are they homebound or playoff bound? I'd like to give the Packers to the former Packer, Elliot, but we can't do that.
Yeah, our YouTube viewers, I won't let James talk the Packers. I'm talking the Packers because they're going to go 9-6-1.
Shame on you.
And they are not going to get that 6th seed. Chicago's going to win 10 games. Minnesota's going to go 9-6-1 and beat Green Bay in Minnesota, which means your wild card teams will be Carolina and Minnesota. And guess who is homeward bound?
Wow, you're saying the Packers going home.
Yes.
They haven't won back-to-back games all season, by the way. James, what about the Hawks? Go
Man, the Hawks, man, listen, they've been playing some very good football. I love dangerous, but listen, I have to say they are homebound just because the NFC is going to be tough. They're not going to win their division because of the Rams. I'm saying they're homebound as good as they're playing right now.
They've lost 2 in a row. They have never lost 3 in a row during the Russell Wilson era. All right, fellas, let's talk locks of the week in absolute power. Vikings. What do you think here? This is a Vikings lock that you're talking about, JJ.
This is a Vikings lock, and I'm saying that they are going to have back-to-back games with 10-plus sacks. They are going to go get Mitchell Trubisky and that Bears offense. 10-plus sacks. Obviously, the Vikings run away with this.
Oh, so you're just predicting history here because it's never happened before. Two teams have had 11 sacks and then followed it up with 9. The 84 Bears and the 87 Bears. Elliot, what do you have?
Wow. Well, that's a good stat. I'll tell you what, I've got the Houston Texans are going to win their 7th straight. Dan, that's right, against your Redskins. We know Washington's got problems up front, and the Texans just match up better than they do.
I can't wait till next week when the Redskins win, and then you just got to sit here and say that they're not that good of a football team.
Come on, I didn't say they weren't that good.
It all sounds good on paper.
They're too banged up. The Texans have been playing well. They're going to win 7 in a row.
All right, if the Texans do win, that 7-game winning streak would tie the longest in franchise history. They've done that once before. All right, we asked who wins the NFC East, and you answered, hail to the Redskins. Hail victory.
Wow. I was really wrong on this, huh?
Yeah. Well, that's not the first time, Elliot. You've been really wrong on a lot of things.
Calm down over there.
Yeah. All right. Finally today, it is the closing arguments. Elliot gets his single that he so desperately desires and talks about teams we haven't hit on today. Go.
Whenever you're done. Okay, Buffalo Bills. Remember the 2013 draft? They took E.J. Manuel and not Matt Barkley because he didn't have a strong enough arm to throw through the wind. Yeah, I remember that too. Hey, Bucks. You know, it takes serious non-skill to go in the red zone 5 times and get 1 field goal. All right, I'm going to do a twofer. Titans-Cowboys. I don't care how much the rules have changed. You play great defense, you don't turn the ball over, and you make your kicks, you can make the playoffs and beat anybody. And finally, how about the L.A. Chargers? Phillip Rivers, Melvin Gordon, both MVP candidates. Both.